Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Cardfight Vanguard Thegrea deck profile for post-generation Dragenesis. Big thanks to my buddy Anthony for letting me borrow his Thegrea deck for the update. Just like with Ava, Thegrea got a couple new cards in the set 6 for Cardfight Vanguard Divines, giving us kind of the wrap-up for the Regallus lineup. So figured I'd update the deck with some of the newer cards we got for it, including the cards we've gotten throughout the years for the different Thegrea booster sets. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the actual ride deck, we have the Energy Generator, with our starter being Knight of Integrity Thegrea. When wrote upon, if you went second, draw a card. For the grade 1, we are actually running Pink Moth Girl Maple. This is the only copy of this glitter unit we run in the deck. So we're running it in the main deck, just in the ride deck, just so we have the option to Soul Blast it out, setting it up in the drop zone, because in the drop zone, when your grade 3 or grade Vanguard is placed during the ride phase, if you Persona Road this turn, and you not have a Pink Moth Girl Maple on your rear guard, you may call it to rear guard. If you called it, it gets +5. And when glittering with Thegrea from the back row rear guard, when your unit in the same column as this one stood, you may stand this unit, giving you an added booster option, and then retiring it at the end of that turn. But then you can just call it back again when you Persona Ride another Thegrea. Our grade 2 is Harsh Training Thegrea. When wrote upon by a grade 3 with Thegrea and its card name, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to one card with Thegrea or Maple from among them, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle the deck. So just more search power, needing maybe one of the grade 3 options for Thegrea, or the added Maple units to use, with our grade 3 being one who walks the path of light Thegrea. We have the Path of Dark and the Path of Light, with the one copy of the Path of Light being in the ride deck, running the additional copies of the Path of Dark in the main deck, having the added restand option with the Path of Light Thegrea, being able to Persona Ride it on top of the Thegrea Dark as well. But we also have the newer version of Thegrea, which we run, being Epite de Justice Thegrea. When it's replaced by riding from a grade 3 with Thegrea, the ride phase until the end of turn. It's also regards having the same name as the unit wrote upon. Search your deck for up to one card with Thegrea, put into the Soul, and shuffle the deck. This will set up the dark versions of Thegrea in the Soul to use. On the Vanguard, once per turn, you can discard a card from your hand, choose up to one grade 3 with Thegrea with a different card name from this from your Soul, and ride it as stand. If you roll a card, bind this card, activate Persona Ride, and you cannot ride till the end of turn. So this is the card you bind for the added playstyle in this deck, being able to then make use of the Thegrea of choice that you wish to use as well, with the other grade 3 being the 3 copies of One Who Blooms in the Dark Thegrea. This is the restand power Thegrea, where the light restood the rear guards, the one in dark restands the Vanguard itself, having the added Persona option and retiring your rear guards to do so with this card in the deck as well. So it's more or less, you'd say, the evil variant of Thegrea in the deck, but still added boosted power depending on the Thegrea of choice you want to use with your Epée de Justice Thegrea. For the grade 2s, 4 copies of Atrocious Moth Girl Maple. With this card, when your grade 3 is placed during the ride phase, if you now have a Maple unit on your rear guard, call it to rear guard. So you could set up this Maple and then call out the grade 1. Since it's just the Pink Moth Girl Maple, being able to just fill out your rear guard circles using cards from the drop. And on the rear guard, at the end of the battle, as you attacked, Soul Blast 1 or more cards. Choose a card from your Soul, the same grades as the sum of grades for the Soul Blast at this cost. Put them in your hand and put this unit in the Soul, giving you just more of the Thegrea units to reuse from the Soul as well, with this added backup glitter ability with Thegrea. We're also running the 3 copies of the new grade 2 Knight of Adoring Placidus. With this card, when it's placed on rear from hand, if your Vanguard is glitter, look at the top 5 of your deck, choose up to one glitter from among them, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle the deck. If you revealed a card, put this card into the Soul, giving you more Soul Blast power for Maple, but also just being able to search out more of the different glitter units we run, including Maple, or the different variants of Thegrea in the deck. The 3 copies of Retrospective Dragon. When it's placed on rear, if you have a Vanguard Thegrea, Soul Blast 1, discard a card from your hand, search your deck for up to one grade 3 or 2 set order, reveal it, put it in your hand, and shuffle the deck. So having a search option for our set orders definitely does help with our new grade 2 Encouragement of Times Past set order, which we run as well. At the end of the battle attack, you can retire one other rear guard, choose one of your glitter units, that gets +5, retiring Maple, just to then make use of it again afterwards. We're also running the 4 copies of Spyro Cutie Angel. When it's placed on rear guard, if you Persona Road, count +1, and check the top 2 cards of your deck, put one in the hand, rest on the bottom of the deck. And when it's discarded, you can Soul Blast 1 and put it on the bottom of the deck to draw a card, giving you more of a discard cost for our ride deck options with this unit as a draw power, but then just more resources back into our hand as well when we Persona Ride, which is very easy to do in the Thegrea deck as well. and also the 3 copies for the grade 1s, Knight of Evil Slash, Mayrig. On rearguard, if your Vanguard's with Thegrea, you can, with this card, bind this unit, search your deck for up to 1 grade 2 or up to 2 grade 3 units with Thegrea and the card names. Choose up to 1 Epee de Justice from among them, ride as stand, put the remaining into the soul. This will set up your different Thegreas for you to use, having both in the soul ready to go, and then the Epee de Justice, rid all the faster. If you Persona Rode this turn already or rode your grade 3, you do not activate Persona Ride, but if you rode Epee de Justice and didn't already, then you can activate Persona Ride thanks to this card. 2 copies of Dragon Tree Wretch, Soul to Sakab, for the added back draw power. When your rearguard's placed in the front row in the same column as this unit, just counterblasting 1 to draw a card. Just good added backup grade 1 option. Since we don't run too many grade 1s, having this as an added resource definitely does come in handy with the deck, with the rest of the grade 1s being 4 copies of Aegis Mare Dragon, just the Sentinel choice to run in the deck. If you wanted to run Elementary Sanctitude, you could always replace 1 copy of this card with a copy of that Blitz Order. For the orders, we're running 2 copies of the new Encouragement of Times Past. With this card, you play it with counterblast 1. If you have a Vanguard with Thegrea and its card name, look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose a 1 unit card with grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from among them, call it to rear, and shuffle the deck. And from the drop, you can Energy Blast 3 and remove this card. Choose a normal unit with Thegrea and its card name from your bind zone and put it into your hand, letting you reuse your Epee de Justice Thegrea, but also giving you the option with this card at the grade 2 level to call out a Maple to rearguard from the top cards of your deck, just needing a Vanguard with Thegrea, which we can easily do with the ride deck in this deck as well. 2 copies of Oath Vengeance Thegrea, with this order just being added Persona Ride power, being able to draw 2 instead of 1 with the Persona Rides, and the 15k power. It is a set order, so this card will remain in the order zone, giving you that added power and draw power consistency for all the times you do Persona Ride in the deck as well. For the trigger lineup, we are going with the 7 criticals, so the 3 copies of White Fang Witch Disma and the 4 copies of Blade Feather Dragon. Just added critical pressure, whether we go for the restanding power of our Vanguard or Epee de Justice Thegrea, setting up those additional Persona Rides. We have the added pressure with that and our additional criticals. The 4 copies of the front Bard of Heavenly Song Alpac, along with the Persona Ride power. Just having 10 to the front row gives us a 25k boost in total if we Persona Ride and get one of these triggers off of the reveal as well, with our heals being the 1 copy of Hardy Tier Sorceress and 3 copies of Palpitation Angel. If you want to go for the full generic, you could just take out the Tier Sorceress and put in another copy of the generic for you to use in the deck. For the lineup, we have the Tamari Lunar New Year Dragon Overtrigger, just for added pressure for 100 million and an additional 100 million to our rearguard powers. If you want to run a Martineau, you can always put it in as a spot here. The situation just didn't pop as much as we thought with this deck. That's why we're running the generic Overtrigger in this spot for it. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. And once again, as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira Qualia out.